Richician.
Welcome to part 3, where I count down numbers 40 to 31. Let's kick this off. So in at number 40, as you can see, is Naturias. I hate Naturias, of course, because Naturias Beast and Bamboo Shoot exist. Now, I've complained about Naturia Beast a few times before, like a synchro monster that's too fucking easy to summon despite its materials, and just having spell-heavy decks just auto-lose to it. But then, of course, you've got Bamboo Shoot, which just outright shuts down half my deck. I mean, it's not a negate, it just stops me from activating spells and traps, like, at all, period. Which is just absolute bullshit, and it's not even that difficult to tribute summon it in that deck. So, like, I can't even use super polymerization to get rid of it. Like, that's how bullshit Bamboo Shoot is, and it basically means I'm left with only monster effects to work with. But even then, there'll be a counter on the back row, like summon negation. It's just absolute bullshit. It's a stupid, bullshit, unfair deck, and I hate how there's apparently going to be more support, like, later on, which I'm not happy about. I mean, the Naturias are annoying enough as it is, like, just like, well, all decks on this entire list, really. They just don't deserve any new support. Just fuck them. Like, they just don't do nothing but piss people off. Just saying. Number 39, PK Fire. And PK Fire is just infuriating. Like, all that deck ever does is just OTK and stop me from doing anything with their back row. Just nothing but disruptive traps. Like, it's just really infuriating. Like, it's too easy to spam out Breaksword and Dante and just use their traps, including Fogblade, to stop me doing anything. Yeah, it's just a nightmare to play against. Even though it's been a while. Stupid sirens, seriously. But yeah, don't get me wrong, like, Phantom Knights I do actually like on their own, and I don't mind pure Burning Abyss, really. It's literally just PK Fire that I have a problem with. Not to mention that Speedroid Terratop is limited because of this deck, which I feel like annoyed a lot of Speedroid players, and even ones who haven't been playing the deck that long even question why it's limited. Well, yeah, PK Fire is why. Like, it was just used and abused to go into rank 3s that just ruin the opponent's day. I mean, I play Speedroids myself, but to be honest, I'm not really bothered about whether or not Terratop is limited or whether it will end up going back to 3. We'll see in time. Number 38, Cosmo. Like literally all Cosmo ever fucking does is just OTK with big monsters that can't be targeted and float for another one, even if they do bite the dust. It's all because of Farm Girl. Like, that fucking card is their OTK enabler, basically the problem card. Like, just normal summon like one of the other psychics, activate emergency teleport, special farm girl, attack with both, banish both, drop 2 big ships, and then attack for game, and even drop limiter removal if it's not quite game. Yeah, absolute fucking bullshit. It's just made my life a misery. And even if I don't get OTK'd by them, I get stuck behind all the level 7 or higher guys, because they have targeting immunity, which makes them difficult to get rid of. And of course, destroying them with things like Rigeki and Mirror Force is a bad idea, because then they just float for another Cosmo monster, and I'm back to where I started, basically. It's just absolute fucking bullshit. They're just difficult to counter. I mean, there's not much point using things like Fiendish Chain or Breakthrough Skill, Magic Cylinder on the low level ones, seeing as they can just dodge out the way by banishing themselves and replacing them with something that can't be targeted. It's absolutely ridiculous. One of the outs to annoying machine decks, System Down, does nothing to them, because even if I just banish all of those big spaceships, they can just use Cosmo Town to get them all back, and as a result I just paid $1,000 for nothing. There's not many ways to deal with them. The only ways I can think of are Storming Mirror Force, Drowning Mirror Force, Quaking Mirror Force, and Cyber Dragon, which I can use to contact fuse all of them into Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Sure, Kaiju's help as well, but they can only get rid of one Cosmo, so they don't really help that much. I guess Raw Sphere Mode is another out, provided there's at least 3. Cosmo just frustrates me and pisses me off a lot. And before someone says it, no, hating Cosmo does not mean I hate Star Wars and the Wizard of Oz. As I actually like the Star Wars film series. It's an epic movie franchise, and the Wizard of Oz is obviously a timeless classic. Cosmo is an annoying OTK deck that ruins the game for other people. That's all I have to say about them. Number 37, another machine OTK deck, Ancient Gears, another GX deck that was basically ruined for me by supporting the structure deck. It's just OTKing is literally all Ancient Gears ever fucking do, and I hate it. There's different ways to do it. It's shenanigans with Ancient Gear Chaos Giant, number 60 Ancient Gear Ballista. Either that, or they do a combo which was done to me twice before, which was Gear Town, Fortress, Catapult, destroy the Fortress to special summon an Ancient Gear Golem, ignoring summoning conditions, and Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon. Then attack with both, then use Reactor's effect to pop the Gear Town, then use that to special summon another Reactor Dragon or Ancient Gear Gajiltron Dragon and attack the game. Or of course they can just drop limiter removal and do the same thing, and just use Rigeki as well, just to make absolutely sure it's game. And I've hated them ever since I had that done to me. It's just degenerate, unfair bullshit. And it's a pity as well, because I do like Ancient Gear Golem. He's a classic GX boss monster, and I'd like Ancient Gear Beast because he's been a handy card in my generic machine deck. But other than that, I just hate the way Ancient Gears play now. They're just too overpowered, and just do nothing but OTK in different ways. Just end duels before they've even started, and it's just bullshit. Number 36, Gem Knights, another OTK deck. Yeah, that's the only reason I hate them. They do nothing but OTK, and that pisses me off a lot. In some way or another, they've just done nothing but end duels before they've even started in recent years. It's bad enough they had an FTK strategy, but despite the hits that they've got, they didn't really do anything. They still end games before they've even started. And it's just absolute bullshit. I hate it so much. Even if I stop one thing, it doesn't seem to do anything. Especially if it was with Solemn Strike, and then I get OTK'd anyway, with Solemn backfiring. I don't know if I stopped the wrong thing, or whether or not Solemns do nothing. I don't know. It's just infuriating. I mean, with any OTK deck, there's just no point playing against them if the game's gonna end just like that. And I feel like it's mainly because of Lady Lapis, that fusion, which does 500 points of damage for every special summoned monster on the field. And then Master Diamond copies that effect. At least I'm assuming it's Master Diamond that does that. It seems pretty clear that Lady Lapis is the problem card. Why that bitch didn't get banned is just beyond me. If it wasn't around, then I probably wouldn't have a problem with them. But unfortunately, I do. Fuck Gem Knights. Number 35, Gokis. Now, again, this might seem a bit random, but yeah, I actually fucking hate Gokis, because it also does nothing but OTK. Literally, all they ever do is spam out a few links, then build up to Power Load Ogre, which then pops a few cards, then combine it with Finishing Move, and game me in one turn. That's just absolute bullshit. I hate them for that. And even if I don't get OTK'd, then Giant Ogre just negates any effect that targets, which is frustrating. Especially if I'm playing Dark Magician, because obviously I play several cards that target cards like Circle, Ebon Illusion Magician, Big Eye, Draco Sack, Infinite Impermanence, but Giant Ogre says no. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this already, but my Dark Magician deck, or Dark Magician decks in general, just seem to struggle against monsters with either targeting immunity or monsters that negate effects that target, and it's just infuriating, and it makes them difficult to beat. Either way, it's just doing something that's stopping me from being able to play. And now I hate them a lot. I feel kind of bad because a good friend of mine does play them, and it's his favourite deck, but Gokis have just pissed me off, over the last several months. I just don't like playing against them anymore. And it's a pity, because it was a deck that I was considering building in the early Link era. It could have been a third favourite Vrains archetype, up there with Cybers and Rockets, but now I'm just put off from ever playing them myself. They're just not fun. Number 34, FAs. Nothing but an annoying lockdown deck, basically. There's just several annoying cards. Whip Crosser, forcing me to pay 300 life points to activate a monster effect. Mind you, it's not as annoying as Odd Eye's Gravity Dragon and Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon late game, I will say that. Then there's Hang On Back, which becomes a Dark Law if it reaches level 7 or higher. And then of course there's FA Dawn Dragster, the generic Dark Bribe on legs, which I ranted about before. Either way, it does too many annoying things that don't let me play the game, and I hate it. Not to mention that their level changing effects are confusing as fuck. It's just difficult to keep track of what's increasing their levels. I just don't know what's going on whenever that's happening, and I'm like, wait, how did this gain a level? How did this gain 2 levels? Why is it this and this level? It's just a nightmare. Even if I didn't hate the deck and did play it myself, it's too complicated for me to play. I even remember when I officially declared a hatred for the deck in a duel video. Someone left a comment saying, please don't hate on this deck, sir. Tell me what to do. It's called an opinion. I have every right to my own opinion, even if you don't agree with it. You can't make me stop hating a deck just because you don't like my hatred for it. I do have perfectly valid reasons for hating the decks that I hate, believe it or not. And FAs are no different. To hell with them. Number 33, Weather Painters. I hate them because Weather Painter Rainbow and that stupid trap that banishes attacking monsters exists. I actually can't remember the name of the trap. I just remember that it banishes a monster that attacks a weather painter or something along those lines. So like, it's near impossible to get attacks through, whereas Rainbow just uses weather painters she points to negate my deck, and the effect isn't even once per turn, which is fucking bullshit. Like, so yeah, it's another lockdown deck, does things that basically don't let me play the game, and it's just infuriating. Like, it's been argued that Rainbow isn't that easy to summon, but based on my bad experiences, I find that hard to believe. Like, there's just no point playing against them if they're just going to negate and disrupt everything I do. Like, stupid deck is stupid. Number 32, True Dracos. Like, because it's annoyingly disruptive. Like, and it's not really the monsters I have a problem with. Well, besides Masterpiece and Dynamite Knights, like, it's their fucking spells and traps. I mean, alright, fair. I know Dynamite Knight is limited, but it's still a problem. It makes it too easy to access the traps. But yeah, their continuous spells and traps are just annoyingly disruptive. Like, it's too easy to tribute summon literally any of them, especially since they allow for additional normal summons, and their spells and traps just keep popping cards on my field, which is just infuriating. I might as well just be locked down and just be unable to play the fucking game. And of course it plays annoying floodgates as well, like Rivalry, Gozen Match, Imperial Order when it was legal, Anti-Spell Fragrance. Yeah, it's just really bullshit. Like, I'm just thankful that Masterpiece is banned, at least, but they're still infuriating. Alright, yes, Diagram and Card of Demise are limited, but those changes just don't do anything. It has been said that those changes make it so they don't do anything, but I find that hard to believe, considering I faced them in a tournament game last year and struggled and lost to them. That was great. And the fact that the spells can pop my back row make it a bad matchup for my Dark Magician deck. Of course, that being said though, the last 2 times I faced True Dracos with my Dark Magician deck, I was actually able to win. But I feel like it was down to careful planning and luck more than anything. But still, fuck True Dracos. Number 31, Monarchs. Now, even though it's not my most hated deck in the game, it's my longest running one. Like, there are not enough words to describe how much I fucking hate Monarchs. Like, it's just an archetype full of cheap, easy win monsters that just get rid of something I have just like that with no effort. Like, they've been a thorn in my side since the mid-2000s. Like, Zaborg and Mobius were just absolute bullshit back in the day, with Mobius destroying my Mirror Forces, Sakuratsu armors, and magic cylinders before I could use them, while Zaborg just pops either a boss monster that I actually worked hard for to get onto the field, or pops my apprentice magicians or flip effect monsters before I can even use them. In fact, Zaborg is one of the reasons why I was playing Desert Sunlight in my Dark Magician deck back then. Not only did I use it to make Nobleman of Crossout fizzle, but to also allow me to use my flip effects, even though those monsters are about to bite the dust. Then, of course, Rise and Gaius came along, which proved to be even worse. I don't even know who's worse between the two of them. I mean, Riser is just infuriating because it's Phoenix Wing Wind Blast on legs, and I despise cards that stop me from drawing a new card. Whereas Gaius has been an arch nemesis of mine, just ruining my day inside and outside of Monarch decks. It also saw play in zombies and cyber dragons as well, like during the 5Ds and Zexal eras. And like, Gaius is a cheap game ender as well, whether it's used against a dark deck that I play, or whether it's being used as the Ring of Destruction for game of today, like if Ring had its original text. So like, if I'm on 1,000 or less, the opponent will tribute summon Gaius, have Gaius banish itself, just to take that last cheap shot at my life points, which again is a cheap, dirty, dishonourable and disrespectful way to win a duel. Like, I mean, it's not as cheap as Lazion the Time Lord for game, but still cheap nonetheless. Like, I'm honestly not even that bothered about Erebus and Eden, like that level 8 light monarch, the ones that came in the structure deck. It's just the original monarchs that I have beef with. I haven't really encountered their mega monarch forms, and I don't think I'd want to really. Plus, Domain is just infuriating as well, cutting off my extra deck. Like, that's just insult to bloody injury, that is. And I hate how people defend them by saying it bricks. Alright, yes, the deck can brick, but like I said before, bricking doesn't always happen. Like, I mean, yeah, if it bricks, it's easy to beat, but if it doesn't, then it's just difficult to beat. Not to mention that it's one of those scumbag decks that someone would bring to a non-meta tournament and say, this is my fun deck, even though there's nothing fun about Monarchs in any way whatsoever. Like, they are the exact opposite of fun. Like, I feel like anyone who defends them just has biased favouritism and just they can't and won't see the problem with them from other people's point of view. Screw Monarchs. And that's it for this part. Stay tuned for part 4 when I count down numbers 30 to 21. Catch you in a bit. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.